This time, Chinese women's ice hockey team did not win a medal, but you really made an impact, right? You defeated a very strong team that was Japan in the preliminary match, and you won. And the games also marked the return of the team to Winter Olympics after 12 years. So how did you feel about the result?
Honestly, I'm incredibly happy to just have the chance to represent China at the Olympics. This has been a dream my entire life, and to do so in China is just unbelievable. And I think that the way that our team performed, we won our first game against Denmark, and then especially winning that second game against Japan, is just such an unbelievable feeling. After the game, everyone was crying. I was looking at all of my Chinese teammates, everyone was crying. All the workers that had, supported us so much and done so much, we were all hugging each other and crying, and it was just such an emotional and such an inspiring moment for everyone.
Was there a lot of pressure on you guys? Because you, especially as a goalie, you joined the Chinese team, and this was your very first Olympic experience. Was it a lot of pressure on you, especially?
I think it was an incredible amount of pressure. I'd played on at the World Championships in the U18 level in the past, but the Olympics is a whole another ball game. And myself personally, I was coming off of an ankle injury. I'd broken my ankle in November, so my first game back was my first game starting in the Olympics. And there's in a lot of people's minds, I think, a question mark on whether I had fully recovered and how well I would do. And so for myself, I felt I not only need to prove myself that, I had recovered and that I was here to not just play in the game, but to perform at my very best, but also the pressure that we're representing China on home soil. And, that's incredibly meaningful, incredibly important. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. And so I wanted to do well for the country, for my teammates, for the leaders and the coaches who all believed in me and believed in all of us. And I'm just incredibly grateful that, we were able to come out with two underdog wins and, just have a wonderful experience.
I mean, even hearing you talk about it gets me nervous, all that pressure. How did you manage? I mean, under the watchful eyes of at least 1.4 billion people who are watching how these naturalized team members of Team China perform for, for their country for the very first time. This is a tremendous amount of pressure, and sometimes they're not so forgiving. So what did you do to help you overcome and stand there and say, I'm going to, and you did put on your best performance, I believe.
The most important thing, I think, is preparation. I've been playing with the Chinese professional team KRS for 4 years, and especially this year, centralizing as Team China, we had practiced together for months since the summer. And I felt like despite my injury, despite all the pressure, despite how big of a stage the Olympics is, I knew what I needed to do to prepare. I knew what I needed to do to perform. And it's just a matter of getting out there and giving it my all. And I think that fundamentally, everyone wants to see all of us players just doing our best and playing with heart and passion. And I think that winning or losing, if we leave it all on the ice, then people will see that and they will respond to that. And I think that I'm especially proud of my teammates because we elevated our level. I had never seen my team play so passionate at such a high level. Everyone stepped up their game, and we improved from first game to the last game. And I think that's just a testament to how much everyone was just so proud to be there representing China, and how much everyone had invested and worked hard towards that dream of playing in the Olympics.
Was it a big boost because you were playing on home soil? I mean, being in the stadium, being in Beijing, being, in China, did that boost the performance, would you say?
For sure. I think that there was so much support from all of the staff, all the volunteers, all the workers. I just remember going to the opening ceremonies, and there was a whole crowd, and they were all just cheering us, saying 中国队加油, and just wishing us luck and telling us that, you know, we can do it. And I thought that was so cool, and how much that even after our games, you know, we would have workers come up to us saying, I've never watched hockey before in my life, but I saw your game, and now I love ice hockey, and I can't wait to watch you guys play again. And I think that is the reason why we're all there and we're all playing, is to show everyone what hockey is, and to inspire people to want to watch more games, to even maybe try hockey themselves.
You had some news making personal gears which you designed yourself, these personalized protection pads on your knees, and the blocker, and your glove, the trapper, and your helmet, of course. Tell us a bit about the story behind them, and why did you decide to design these and to use these? Did you want to intimidate the opponents?
Of course I wanted to intimidate the opponents, but more so than that, I was thinking in the summer, I really wanted something that was the core essence of Chinese culture. And I felt that the color red and gold and dragons, that's really what China is represented by, not just to us Chinese people, but also showing other countries. The Olympics is a cultural exchange between different countries, and I think that anyone who looks at those pads and the helmet will know right away, hey, this is China, this is Chinese culture, and that is exactly what I want to show everyone. And on top of that, I also was inspired by the guardians of the doors. I know in traditional Chinese buildings, you would have these spiritual guardians that would be painted, or statues that would guard the entrance into a building. And I felt that, you know, as a goalie, you know, I am guarding the door to the net, and the pads are kind of the two doors, so blocking out all the pucks. So I thought that was kind of a bit of a nod to that part of Chinese history and culture.
You have done an incredibly impressive job in being a goalie. Help us understand, what's the secret that you have, that you're able to, you know, put out these attempts at very, very challenging moments?
Being a goalie is a lot of pressure. At the end of the day, you're the last line of defense. When players make mistakes, we can always recover. But if a goalie makes mistakes, then the puck goes in the net. And so from childhood, my dad, he was a goalie when he was younger. He always told me one thing. He said, just focus on the next shot. And I think that has become my motto. And I tell it to myself before every single game, because you can't think about what happened, mistakes that you made previously, and you can't think about, you know, what might happen, you know, in the next minute or the next period, or what the end result at the end of the game might be. All you can control, all you can focus on is that next shot, and being ready for that, and focusing everything on that. And I think what happens is, as a goalie, you become very calm and you become very clear-minded, and your confidence radiates out to all of your teammates and helps them feel confident in you and feel that they can focus on what their job is and playing to the best of their abilities, because they don't need to worry about what's going on behind them. So that's what I've really focused on, especially coming into these big games, is always going back to those fundamental sort of mental preparations. And I think that's especially what helped me in the game against Japan in that shootout. They cleaned the ice a little bit, and I was sitting on the bench, and I just went back to the same thing, just focus on the next shot. And when I went in the net, I had no other thoughts except stopping that puck in front of me.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a split of a second decision, right?
Yeah, everything happens so quickly. You don't have time to think. You can only just be in that moment, living in that moment, and really, like, your all thoughts, and it's almost like we call it being in the zone. When you're in the zone, you're in this mental state of complete and utter focus. And that's where not only you play your best game, but you also have the most fun. You enjoy the experience of the fun of playing hockey the most.
I notice, and I'm now focusing on your red jersey with the huge characters China written on it. Obviously, it's a great welcome for the Chinese team to have you on board. But has it been an easy process? Has it been an easy decision? What kind of reactions have you gotten from your friends and the public in Canada?
I mean, it's been an incredibly long journey for me, and I think that I want to thank everyone along the way, my coaches, my parents, my friends. The amount of support that I've gotten from people has been incredible, and I think that the coolest part about this whole experience has been the number of people that have reached out to me saying, "Hey, either they've never watched hockey before or they've never cheered for China before." And a lot of them are North Americans, Canadians, Americans, and they'll reach out to me and they're saying, like, they're so excited to watch my games and cheer for China. And I just love that people are really reacting with so warmly, so welcomingly, and taking an interest in China and in Chinese sports. I think that's a huge step forward and a great bridge to between different cultures and different countries. And I think that's a big part of the mission is growing the game in China and exposing more people to hockey and developing that, but also to showing people in other countries what Chinese sports and the Chinese fighting spirit looks like. I think that's been really cool.
Is that why you switched from banking, investment banking, back to ice hockey? What would be your ultimate goal? What would you like to do from here on?
Yeah, that decision was very difficult, of course, but here's what drew me. It wasn't just the hockey. I love playing hockey, but I had retired after college because I wanted to pursue this incredible career opportunity. What drew me back was really the full package of, being able to live in China, being able to practice my Chinese, learn more about Chinese culture, connect with my heritage, see my Chinese family, and really be able to spend time with them and share that experience of being Chinese with them. And ultimately, growing hockey in China, we've spent, a lot of time just exposing kids to the sport. And I think that now with the performance at the Olympics, I'm just so excited. I feel like this is a new beginning. We started 4 years ago, but now this is a new beginning for exposure, the growth of hockey in China, and I can't wait to see what's going to come next.
So are you going to move back to China and focus on promoting this game, or what's your plan? What's your immediate plan?
I would love to become more involved on the coaching side. I think that the development is incredibly important. You think about for the next Olympics, we need to qualify. That's 4 years. You take a girl who's 12, you develop her for 4 years, she's 16. She can 100% be on that Olympic team, living her dream that she saw 4 years ago at the age of 12. And I think that's incredibly important, not just for those individuals who end up making the team, but also for all the girls who and little boys who have that chance to be a part of hockey. I think it's a real part of personal growth and development when kids get to grow up in hockey. I mean, see how much it's brought to my life. It's given me my experience at Princeton. It's given me my experience in China. It's brought me to the Olympics. It's given me so many lifelong friends and mentors and coaches. And I think that I want the same for many more kids in China. And so I think that as soon as this season is over, I'm gonna have some conversations, and I think it would be amazing to come to China and be able to live there again and share all of that the experience that I've gained and just help as many people as I can.
All the very best wishes, and we look forward to that. Thank you so much, Zhou Jiaying, joining us from Vancouver,
Thank you
Canada.
so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.